Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to the weekly review special for week 32 of the Gaming Decathlon competition. This week we're back over 2,000 at 2,023 points, up from 1,827 a week ago, but again, still well short of our best week, which was back on week 8 of this year with 4,648. Current virtual best continues to rise. It's up to 2,319 from 2133 a week ago, and the all-time virtual best for the first time in ages. Oh, it's been a lot of weeks. It finally rises only by 7 points, though, to 7,939. Break down the games individually. PCM 20 in the career mode. Early season, already 218 points. It's April. We're halfway, if that. We're already at 218, and I thought the World Tour was going to be super challenging. Well, it is. I've had a lot of pretty nasty results compared to what I'm used to having. Our team just really isn't that competitive, but occasionally in a manner that's often enough that I'm pulling together victories in races that I shouldn't be, but we're doing enough, and it is resulting in a good evaluation and a fairly good amount of points. In the all-rounder, we just started a new season there, already 36 points, same sort of thing. I moved actually up to Continental Pro, and I'm already finding a few results. In certain areas, I'm getting just strong enough as a rider to eke out some type of result head-to-head. I mean, honestly, head-to-head, most of the riders are better than I am in every way. But I'll get second or third and get a few points or a couple of seconds, and I just squeeze out something over and over again, which is helping me develop faster. FS19 Valley Old Farm. Finally, we are at that point where the money is starting to roll in. It's late stage now for that first year. We just finished our big silage harvest. The money for that finally rolled in. That's where we're at 140 points. But this week, we started another thing that will bring in a ton of money, and that is harvesting. So again, that's final stages now underway. We harvested the wheat in this episode, but we did not take it straight to market. The amount of wheat that we brought in, selling it now versus waiting to sell it at the height of the period, is going to make a difference of about $80,000. That was my early estimate. We didn't quite end up that high on the amount that went into the silo, but it's still going to be about $65,000 difference just by waiting a little bit. So the crops are going into the silo, not being sold right away, and therefore we're kind of sitting on it a little bit, but the wheat's ready, the barley's ready, the oats are ready. Already did the barley off camera afterward, so we're going to be going through the oats in the next episode, and then another grass harvest for silage. Different equipment this time around, so that's going to be the bulk of what we're doing the next episode. We're just going to catch the end of the oats, and then we're going to be flying through, mowing all the grass again, and then using new equipment to get through that. Out of the Park Baseball 21, retired. NBA 2K20, retired. Little Norton and the Women's Tour for PCM 19, all retired. So I have 6 active series right now, continuing on that list. Founders Fortune added another 50 points with, what was it? 4 more seasons survived, and 1 more tech survived. We're going to come back to Founders Fortune in a little bit, though. F1 2020, my team principal, the last 2 series that are active right now. My team principal jumps to 165 points. It's early season 2, but we quickly made up the ground with the reset from one season to the new season. And while we're, we're halfway through the season, I think, roughly. the points are adding up quick. That's because, one, the progress we made season 1, even though the points reset, the progress didn't really reset. We lost a couple upgrades through regulation changes, but only a couple, and we very quickly recovered those. So the upward trajectory continues, and we're scoring points again. So new record there already. And then last question mark, ended season 1, 215 points. Pretty solid result. Really happy. We got 1 podium on the season and quite a few top 10 finishes. And when I did the F119 last question mark challenge, well, that was a very different matter. For one thing, I was regularly getting fired because I wasn't qualifying, and it was forcing you into rivalries. It's trying to force me into them here, but it doesn't. You can get out of it. And so I've abstained and stayed away from them. And so things are working out. I'm not getting fired from the team, and that's all coming together. But ultimately, I'm definitely a better driver than I was last year. And it's showing with the results that I've been able to put together. But I did step up the difficulty late in the season, so we'll see if I can do as well second season, and if I can continue to develop the car. The big news this week, of course, is the all-time virtual best finally changing. Founder's Fortune has gone from 12th up to 9th, picking up 50 points. It was a really tightly compacted area, and so it barely changed the overall score. Surviving the Aftermath is the one that was bumped out of the top 10, as Founder's Fortune now sits in 9th place. On the outside looking in, that's changed a bit with 2 games being removed from that list. One is Founder's Fortune going up into the top 10. One is NBA 2K20 retiring. The 2 that replace it on the list, F1 2020, the Last Question Mark, and the My Team Principal, both of those seeing a big jump in their scores this week, now sitting in 37th and 42nd place. The difficult thing is, outside of Founder's Fortune, nothing looks like it's going to crack the top 10 anytime soon. Valley Old Farm, not on that list, scoring lots of points, but it's going to be a while before I see it score points again, thanks to the fact that we brought in a bunch of money, but right now everything that we're doing currently harvest-wise is going into silos, and then we're going to harvest grass again. That's going into silage bales. That's going to take a few days before that's ready. So it's going to be a little while. It's going to be a handful of weeks again before we see the money climb. But then we're going to see that money climb pretty much from where it is now straight to full payoff, hopefully, or close to it. Now that Founder's Fortune has cracked the top 10, I want to break down how that score is what it is, how we got to that 650 points. It's pretty simple scoring for Founder's Fortune. There's 3 categories. 1, colonists. Number of colonists that we have alive. I get 20 points for each colonist, and this rises and falls. It goes through in waves. If we get attacked and colonists die, it can take a while to replace, and we've had that happen a couple times. We've also had a couple colonists die of old age. There are a maximum in-game of 13. You cannot have more than 13 colonists. We have 7 right now, and that gives us 140 points total. The other 2 categories, first is technology. So each time we complete a technology, and therefore it becomes active, is 10 more points. There are 28 techs. We have 19 of them, so that's 190 points currently. And then finally, seasons played. 10 points for each season that we have survived. The max for that, well, it's unlimited. There is no timetable. You could just play and play and play. However, for the sake of getting to a set number of points, I'm looking to cap that at 12 years. Right now we have 32 seasons complete, which is 8 full years. We're just at the end of our 8th year, entering our 9th year. So that's 320 points. So that means I am 2/3 of the way through that period until I hit the cap on points, which 12 years, that's 48 seasons, that's 480 points is the maximum we can get in that category. And that gives us grand total 650. Pretty straightforward. All of my games have unique scoring systems similar to this. Some of them use the actual game scoring systems. Others, like this, we have to come up with some sort of scoring system of my own. And as always, it is based on a 1,000-point scale, like the Decathlon. But that's going to do it for this review special. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.